Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show. Strap in for episode 7 where we head out to Fresno, California. But before I get into it, I want to first say, I've worked with many artists over the years. And I've seen some of the worst, the truly worst artists. But this one was, well, it was shocking. Sit back, relax, let's find some hacks. Alright, so there's a bit of a twist in today's episode, because in this episode, we aren't trying to help a client find a tattoo artist like we usually do. Our lead today came straight from another tattoo artist, and they wrote in, "Dear Hack Hunter, I need your help to warn clients about an artist that's doing some real damage to people here in Fresno. We constantly see his clients come into our studio practically in tears over the tattoos that they received. Please, help us warn clients about going to him anymore for any work." Alright, now this is usually something that we would avoid here. The sender is anonymous, and usually I don't want to get involved in some kind of turf war between studios, you know? However, after I saw some of his work, well, there was just no way I was going to ignore it. Let's break it down. Alright, this is the guy we're going to be talking about today. His name is Bobby Bailey, and he's working in Fresno, California. And the name of his studio is 2 Ink Tattoo. You can find him on Facebook. I didn't find a website. I like this, though. It's a nice little catchy 2 Ink or not 2 Ink. That shouldn't be a question. I like that. That's clever, Bobby. I dig it. But it looks like he's the only one working at the studio. And you can find more of his work on Instagram at tattoos_by_Bobby B. Now, I grabbed a lot of his most recent stuff. However, first I wanted to show you, this was posted all over the place. I could tell he was very proud of this one. He posted it multiple times in multiple locations, and I see why. This is a neat little Finding Nemo tattoo, and I like the little glare effects he did on the eye. He even made the bridge of her nose here look good with the white highlighting and stuff like this. But there was a little bit of line error on the outside of the eye there, and to be honest, when I look at Nemo, that's a little bit of a cracked out Nemo. That is a fish on crack. I've seen fish on crack before. That is a fish on crack. But I'll give him the credit. Dory was a good one. I understand why he posted this one all over the place. However, this is what I saw more of. This is one of his healed pieces, and it's very, very confusing to me. Well, right off the bat, for those of you that can't see or haven't seen this before, this is scarring, where in the light effect here, you can see where there's raised lines. And the skin raised up, that means that there's dead skin over top of live skin. That's a scar, and it's not gonna go away anytime soon. If it does at all, it would need some sort of laser treatment to get it to go down. But the weird thing to me is this purple. I actually had to bump up the lighting in this photo to be able to see the colors and everything. It was a really contrasted photo, but this purple in here, this is very strange. I don't know if this was a cover-up, and it's possible he was just nervous about it not covering up properly, and so he wanted to add some darker tones in there, but this is just overall really, really muddy, really dark, heavy black, very little detail. And if I'm being honest, if I tried to do a leaf like this, if somebody told me to give them a leaf like this would be difficult to do. But he really, wow, made it look easy. And I'm not sure the background, why he did it this way. Again, it might have been a cover-up. It's sort of strange. I see some sort of weird lines popping out down the bottom there, so maybe this was a cover-up, but ultimately, Bobby, I don't think these are your forte, man. This is really, really dark, muddy work, and I can tell the skin's very, very overworked, and you can tell because these white patches in here, where it's supposed to be red, and it's not. It's just lighter skin tone. That's because you overworked it. The skin couldn't hold on to the ink, and it just healed into a scar. Moving on, though, I found a lion portrait of his. This flower down here is not so bad. You know, the color blending in there looks pretty neat, and it looks pretty clean. The line work even, well, never mind, I spoke too soon. There's some gaps in the line work here, but the color blending is still there. The color blending is good. The line work, not so much. Yeah, why are there lines missing right here, Bobby? I don't understand that. Why is that missing? Did it just not heal right, or did you choose not to put a line there? Anyway, the lion's face. Something that I got real beef with is the lazy way that the hair is done up here. And you can see there's not much in the way of texture to the hair. There's just sort of random shadows on the face. And I think that either you didn't have a good reference to go off of, or you were really lazy when you created your reference and you didn't want to create every single line of hair. But you need to. You need to know exactly where that hair flows, and you need to take your time doing it. Or you get this look where it just looks like you just kind of whipped out some hair on the end there. Another thing is, I had to zoom in really far to see it, but he did the whiskers in black, which is obviously a no-no in realism. They're white whiskers in real life. But he also tried to blast white lines over the top of them at the end. And this is virtually pointless, because what's going to happen is you already had ink there, you already had darker ink there, so when it heals, you're not going to get white, you're going to get sort of a muddy gray or off-tan color, but it's definitely not going to be a bright white. And I noticed this throughout a lot of his work. He tends to, what we call blast white. He blasts white over the top of stuff that he had already done. Now, the reason he does that is because it's much easier to blast white over top of something at the end than it is to tattoo around that area and leave a negative space for the white. That's what you're supposed to do. It takes a lot longer, and it's a lot more time-consuming and difficult, but that's how you're supposed to do it. If you want to get those white whiskers, you can't make them black first and then hope to make them white later. Again, a side profile, that same line, really etchy hair. Yeah, it doesn't get much better. This one, it looks like a fresh version of that first set of roses that we saw. You can see the blood in the image. You can see that it's got that same sort of muddy shading with the color over top of it, and it's going to heal no different. You're going to have that same effect where the color's not solid, and it just heals really dark in some areas and really light in other ones. And it's strange to me why you can't take an extra second to not leave the blood in your photo, just wipe it down. But I know in some instances, especially if you're overworking the skin, then you're going to have to wait quite a while for it to stop bleeding. And so if you're getting a lot of blood at the end of your tattoo, so much so that you just leave it in the photo, there's probably something wrong with what you're doing. And I can see that all over this pocket watch. Let's move on, though. This one, I actually enhanced the lighting on my own quite a bit just to be able to see what was going on here. We got an owl with the moon in the backdrop, and then I believe this is a snake. But you can see the technique in the artwork is just rough. I'm not sure, like, I know owls obviously have small tufts of feathers and they lead to longer feathers, but this is just random feathers in here. That's just sort of lazy, I think, and I think that your design on paper needed to be a lot more consistent or clear, but again, this backdrop with just a lot of sort of muddy black blended into purple, and it just looks dark in the end. It all looks way, way, way too dark and not really readable, and if it weren't for enhancing the lighting, I doubt anybody watching would be able to tell what that really was. Another example of a lion in this one. Oh, Bobby. They don't get much better. They don't get much better as I go, man. I'm being honest with you. I hate to give you a hard time, but this, again, with the lazy, whipped-out, stringy hair in the end here. That's not what a lion's hair looks like, and, yeah, it really, really shows. Again, you did the black whiskers, and you tried to blast white over the top of them at the end. It's not going to work. It's going to look like a negative lion. They're supposed to have white whiskers. You got to leave that space for your whiskers. But, yeah, overall, just really kind of etchy, and it's going to heal really, really dark in some areas, and then some of these bloody areas, I can tell it's not going to hold the ink quite as well, and you're just going to get really super soft light gray where you don't want it. This one was another healed piece of his, and it really showcases... it really showcases that the color saturation is not a forte of his. It's just not working for him. Something's not right there, Bobby. You got to get together with another artist and try and figure out how you can do this a lot better than the way you're doing it. Maybe change up your machines or your hand technique or both. Maybe it's the quality of the pigments. It's way too hard for me to judge because I'm not seeing many pros versus cons in your work. It's really hard for me to judge where you're actually going wrong. But to me, overall, it does definitely look like self-taught work. And, it also looks like the artwork is a little lazy. This is an example of his biomech work, and it's a custom piece, I can tell. Just sort of strange. I don't think biomech is in his wheelhouse, but again, with the blending, this black is so scratchy and blending to this red here. You just get a lot of this patchiness, and so there's something going on there where he hasn't quite figured out how to saturate the ink, and I think that it's laziness. I think instead of going at an even pace throughout, there's a lot of just rushing going on, and I can tell by this design, though, that biomech is not something that you do a ton of. This piping just goes to nowhere, by the way. I'm not sure why you don't see that pipe there. It should come out the other side. Yeah, just overall, just sort of strange looking. I mean, I know biomech's supposed to be strange looking, but this is strange even for biomech. I saved the worst for last. This piece, if I'm being sincere, kind of makes me mad. When I see this kind of stuff, this is the whole reason I wanted to make this show. Because this is on a female, and especially this upper neck piece. There are some females out there that are going to want skulls and some wicked evil stuff, but I don't think there's anybody in the world that wants this just chunk of black, undefined, weird shading. It's strange. The skin is definitely scarred or overworked, and And this is a very unflattering piece on her chest. I sincerely feel bad for this girl. And Bobby, I think if you're going to continue on as a tattoo artist, you got to work on finding an apprenticeship. You got to work with an artist that can refine your techniques. The bad thing is that you already have developed habits that are wrong. You already developed your color packing habits, your line work habits, how you hold the machine, the depth you're running at, the speed you're running at. You've already developed bad habits, man. And it's really hard for a teacher to break those habits. And sometimes it's impossible. Usually we want our apprentices to be fresh out the gate. We don't want them to have any experience like this. But this is the risk. When you teach yourself, this is usually what comes out. You don't have somebody explaining to you what you're doing wrong, but you can see all of these lines. There's not a single line in this bunch that is even thickness with the other lines. They're all weird thickness. And then this sort of strange black and gray shading that you blend to the colors, it's just dark. It's way too heavy, way too dark in some areas. And I just can tell by the blooding and the bleeding and the welting that's going on this neck that I guarantee that black did not heal black as well. So, Bobby, ultimately, I can't give you my blessing. I think you need a lot of work, man. You got a long way to go before you get our approval. But please find an apprenticeship. And moving on, since there was no client that asked me to help them this week, I just got to find whichever artist I wanted to showcase in Fresno. And there's a lot of good ones, but stick around. Let me show you who I found. Ladies and gentlemen, Audie Fulfer. Here he is. Audie, I am so sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, and also sorry that I couldn't find any better photos of you. So this is what they get. But ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce this champion of art right here. He's working at High Class Tattoo and Body Modification. You can find them at Facebook, High Class Tattooers. Also, he's got an Instagram, which I definitely strongly recommend you check out. Audie, AUDIE_tattoos at Instagram, and I spent hours going through this. I'm not even exaggerating that. I got hooked up on it, and I went back years. I just kept looking because some of this artwork is just mind-blowing. Seriously mind-blowing. Audie, you are a champion among men, my friend, and it looks like you have been doing this a long time, and you've been doing it super good for a long time. Here's a great Elvis. Look how clean and smooth that is. Such intention behind everything that he does. The shadowing in here is just perfect. The glare effect on the nose and the eyes, just the right amount of shadowing to make it look super 3D. This is the kind of work that he does, though. It's all really big, beautiful 3D full color stuff. I'm sure that he's capable of doing some other things, but this is his forte. This is what he likes to do, and this is what he does incredibly well. And I just saw piece after piece. Oh, I love this one. Those of you that know what movie this is from, you're going to love it too. Yeah, post down in the comments below for those of them that don't know what this is from, but just incredible detail. From that unique glare in the eye there. I love it. And this texture that he got on these alien fingers, oh my god. The blood coming off the forehead as well, too. Just the right amount of red and just the right amount of white highlighting to give it that sort of wet look. He's definitely sweating in this scene, in the movie, and so you can see that the way he textured these skin tones, wow, there's even some soft greens in there, some, maybe an avocado green in there. Wow, just an incredible use of color. He really knows his color theory and puts it to the test. An incredible Joker. Yeah, I love this rich black background, and this looks to me to be a fully healed piece, actually. I'm not seeing any redness around the outside that would indicate it's freshly done, so this shows how perfectly black his black is going to heal, and that alone is in a testament to his skill and how long he's been doing it and the control that he has, but I absolutely love this piece. That's very, very time-consuming work. I wanted to showcase a small work of his because, just to show that he can do it. But this was it. This was the smallest one I could find, pretty much. And it really showcases a lot, believe it or not. I imagine there's probably at least 3 or 4 different tones in there to give SpongeBob that yellow look, but also the sort of shadowed yellow look on the side here. Great job on the mouth as well. Just multiple tones of that sort of... oh gosh, I don't even know what color this would be, but he did an incredible job at blending it to really give it the The overbite that he has a shadow look inside the mouth, and that's what's so impressive to me, is that he took the time to do that. A lot of artists would have skipped that, and it still would have looked like a great piece, but that just shows what kind of work that he does. He doesn't take the easy road on any of it. This is one of my favorites. I'm a bit of a nerd, so had to appreciate this. Again, with the glare effects, filling white in as a solid fill color is not an easy task for any artist. The person's blood comes out right away, so when you're applying red, it's very easy for it to look like it's just blood there and that you might not have got the white in there. But the better artists get, they start to just trust their technique. He knows his technique. He knows that he's applying it properly, so it doesn't matter if the blood turns it red temporarily or not. It's not going to confuse him. He knows his application. Zoom in on this Wolverine here too. That's great detail, and especially shading in between these claws, that just adds a little bit of difficulty to this. That again is just really impressive. But yeah, that white work overall is what blows my mind here. Bright white, looks like it's going to heal beautifully. Audie, obviously you don't need my approval, but you got it. Please keep doing what you're doing. It's just incredible work. I enjoyed looking through your Instagram, and I would encourage anybody watching, please go check out his Instagram. You'll love it as much as I did. Alright, that's it for this episode. Thank you so much for watching the show. Make sure you subscribe because we put out new episodes every week. Also, hit the bell button so you get notified every time we post a new episode. So when we come to your city, you'll be sure to catch it. Thanks again. I'll see you all next week.